Hey everybody, it's Taki117 back with Taki Space Program. We have just started our countdown for our historic Kerbal flights. At the moment, we have basically all we need to do is reach orbit and then return these guys safely. That is, well, as we've seen, easier said than done. I have figured out that it is, or it was in fact, the tank that was giving me the issues and not the engine. So I've corrected that on all of my rockets now, I think. I've redesigned my crew capsule, or the crewed portion of the rocket after the fiery deaths of previous Kerbals. Unfortunate, but necessary. You know, can't make any omelets without breaking a few eggs and all that. And I'm going to try something new. I'm actually going to speed up the video and see how that goes. There we are. We've completed our orbital insertion burn. Check those off. So now I have to recover them. I'm a little concerned that they have room for one crew. It hasn't been checked. And I think that's because I have a two-man pod. But anyway, it's point retrograde. We're going to go once around and hopefully bring these guys home safely. Oh, that's because there's not an IVA to speak of. That's unfortunate. So here we go, once around. And here we go, beginning our deorbit burn. There we go. Jettison our service module and watch it float away. Let's hope for the best. Now you can see that my heat shield is wider than my crew compartment, and hopefully that will protect both my crew and my parachutes, because those are the important parts. So here we go, we've hit the atmosphere, and Kerbals have their fingers crossed, flying over Florida, and there's Cuba down there. And if this is successful, I think this will be my standard tourist vehicle. It does have a probe core on it. There we go. Starting to heat up. You can see the shockwave there. There's the service module. The heat shield ablating away, sort of. Things are exploding over there. Probably the engine or the tank itself. So I've lost 3 of my parachutes. It appears that when I applied the setting, I only applied it to the one parachute and not all of them. Fortunately, it appears that the one parachute has survived. Hopefully it's enough. Alright, it has semi-deployed. We are slowing down. The question is, will it be enough to slow us completely down? "7 meters a second. One parachute has slowed us to 7 meters per second. This is good. This means it is very likely that my Kerbals will survive on a single parachute. And there they are. They have successfully splashed down. Let's go ahead and recover them and move on to our next mission. Okay, we're back on the launch pad with another completely redesigned rocket. This one is going to the moon. Hopefully. So let's begin our countdown. Oh, that was not as exciting as I'd hoped. This is on a replica-ish Delta rocket. I say ish because I just kind of... It's a close approximation. Let's start our gravity turn. I have not tested this rocket. It seems these are giving me the same issue as before, where it will not register my delta V. Wonderful. That's going to be problematic. So once again, I'm flying this rocket manually. I'm forming a little bit of a dogleg here to get my orbit more or less in line with my target, which is the moon. And I am just kind of winging this. Okay. Let's do some quick fuel adjusting here. Okay. This is not going to end well. Okay. I'm going to ditch. Okay, I have ditched my first stage, and I'm going to point this at Earth. Okay, so it is very probably one of those tanks. Could have gone a lot better. But we're getting into orbit. Not a big deal. Looks like we are mostly on course for the moon. That's a beautiful shot there. Let's watch that for a second. Okay, that's enough of that. Now this satellite will produce power regardless of day or night. It's got these RTGs on here, and it looks to be producing enough power to keep itself charged even with the main dish activated, which is good. We've passed apoapsis. 600 meters a second. Looks like I am going to be cutting it close as far as this burn is concerned. I am at 77 kilometers. If I can't pull my periapsis out of the atmosphere, we're going to have issues. The main reason for that is I did, unfortunately, I delayed jettisoning my first stage. Now I'm going to do something I would not normally do. I'm going to point radial out to try and adjust my orbit so that my periapsis is higher. I'm officially inside the atmosphere, by the way. Okay. That could have gone better. The good news is I still have plenty of delta V to make my transfer. And not going to burn up, hopefully. The atmosphere is still thin enough that it's not going to affect my trajectory at all. It will, however, take me a minute to actually get out of the atmosphere. No big deal. No big deal. And success, we are out of the atmosphere. So MechJeb has taken over and will perform this maneuver. You see I'm bouncing off of a satellite here, and there we go. Pushing my apoapsis out. So it's going to be about a minute long burn, give or take. That beautiful engine burn again. Not a whole lot I can do about the angle, it's just how I place the camera. But I do like it. You know, on actual launches, you don't actually get the angles you want. If you've ever watched a SpaceX launch, their engines look very similar, or their angles rather look very similar. We are now floating through the cosmos. Okay. Next time we meet, we will be entering the sphere of influence of the moon. And here we are, just a few seconds away from entering the moon's sphere of influence. And here you can see our satellite. I'm actually going to toggle that. And ooh, there we go, camera switch, showing that we've crossed the sphere of influence. I don't need to toggle those, but they're nice. Oh, there's the Earth over there, and the moon is somewhere. Not important, mostly because I'm falling towards it. As you can see, there is my target. Okay, so now we get to play with maneuver nodes. So you're probably wondering, why the heck did you put it all the way out there? Well, because it's only going to cost me 52 meters a second of delta V to get into the proper orbit. No, it's not. I need to be going the other way. There we go, much better. So it's only going to cost me 47 meters a second of delta V to execute this maneuver, whereas if I tried doing it closer, it would cost me a lot more. So you always want to perform your maneuvers at an extreme. Now I'm doing this fairly far away from my current position, so I had enough time to mess around with the node. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get into orbit first and then tweak it so that I meet my parameters. So just a tiny little burn there. My inclination is 11 degrees. Not bad. Close. So circularize at periapsis. And gravity is going to do the work. Transmit that data back. That's good. I actually generate more power than I need even when transmitting. Not much more, but more. Ooh, we just went dark. So we are on the dark side of the moon. It's a really good album, by the way. Okay, here we go. Shrinking our orbit down. Awesome sauce. Now we're going to fix our inclination. Create that node. Execute it. Now, you'll notice I'm doing all of this with my second stage. I have done nothing with the actual satellite, even though the satellite has almost 3,000 meters a second of delta V. The reason for that is because, well, quite frankly, I don't need to do anything with my satellite. You know, I can save all of its fuel for future maneuvers. So here we go. Oh, good. I was afraid I wasn't going to have a connection there. because that would have been bad. But fortunately I have this other satellite here. That's kind of going to be the purpose of this one, is to act as a second satellite in orbit. Alright, so now I get to change my apoapsis at periapsis. My apoapsis should be 89754, so 89.754 kilometers. Create and execute. I'll push my apoapsis out. And now comes the fun part. Worrying about if I will have a connection when I get back to apoapsis and I push periapsis out. See, because here I just have a direct connection to Earth, not a big deal. There is something somewhere pointed at the moon, and that's what I'm connecting to. While I'm here, no need to do science. Okay. A little bit of a puff from the engines. Now I want to change periapsis to 87.327 kilometers. And I'm actually going to abort that node execution. I am, however, going to point to it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to execute that node. Via guidance computer. Then I'm going to execute the node via MechJeb so that MechJeb will take control and automatically time warp me and everything. But in the event I lose connection, which I very well might. Okay, looks like I'm going to maintain connection, so I'm just going to cancel that. Close my flight computer there. So that's good. I do have connection. Once again, a little puff from the engines. You can barely see the exhaust. And there we are. So, and there we go. Maintain stability for 10 seconds. Oh, as you can see, it did also clear my other two contracts that I had for returning the Kerbals successfully. Oh, I do have another antenna. I'm going to activate that just because I can. And there we go. We are in orbit successfully. Anyway, that's all for this episode. I'm Taki117, and remember, it's only rocket science.